There's something coming through. Um, I'm coming back to. I'm going through it personally with Pluto Mars opposition. It's real. Really grateful though. Like it's a hardcore energy. But I feel like it'll make all of us deeper. It'll teach us how to prioritize. And it'll teach us how to be ultimately more compassionate, I believe. And the thing that was coming through was I remembered the story. I worked in a cafe in Swiss Alps for a very short period of time. And one day there was a young guy, I don't know, he would have been in his early 20s. But this is the part where the words will probably fail. Let's just say he lived in a different dimension. And he came in rushing into it was like a cafe with pastries that they made. And they had quite a few like colorful cakes. And so this guy comes into the store and he just starts opening all, they had these, all of the pastry was in those transparent, like stands for, cookies, pastry, whatever. And so this guy comes in and he just starts opening all of them and taking one pastry piece and taking a bite and leaving it and taking another and leaving it. And I don't know, I guess that was his mom. He was with him. So she comes into the store wallowing and screaming and yelling at him and just in fucking shock, although she probably had dealt with like unexpected things with him before. But and meanwhile the guy is just yelling "Je suis désolé." And so back then I didn't know, I've heard the expression before. I briefly studied French, but I don't really speak it. And what I interpreted back then was that he was saying that he is unsatisfied, was like he needs something to feel more satisfied. And as the story came back now, because it also like the whole thing just left the owner of the store was there, one of them. And she went bonkers. Like she didn't know how to react to it. She was mean to everyone after that. And this is my point, is that everybody was looking through the veil at that moment. Whatever they call crazy more often than not is just like universe's ways of bringing a new understanding into the room, if you're willing to look at yourself, if you're willing to admit your similarity and your oneness with the thing that's right in front of you, even though it's so different, right? It's so far from who I am. That's not. And so I went to look up what désolé means. And so the main way for people to use the sentence "je suis désolé" is as in "I am sorry." Yeah, être ennuyé, regretter, regrette. I'm sorry. It also means desert, desolate. So I'm desolate, right? I'm afraid. It also means cold and unsheltered, bleak. Stark, bare, harsh, or simple in a severe way. Isn't it crazy? Just, I don't know if this is just my trip here going on, and if that's the case, fine, I'm just processing out loud, but this little story that took, I don't know, like from human perspective, it was just a few minutes. And I've been dealing with a lot of things as pertaining, as relating to greed and um, and lack of development or lack of resolution, Like in some ways, absolutely everyone walking this earth will be super developed in some ways, right? And there will also be a 2-year-old, who's screaming and kicking and has no fucking understanding of how to solve something. You really need help. And the one thing that has been coming through a lot for me is well, as an adult, when you didn't get the help that you needed, when you have been neglected, who are you going to ask for help? Who are you going to accept it from? Because in some ways we're all this also means sad looking. So yeah, like in some ways we're all sad looking, bare, harsh, simple in a severe way, apologetic or full of regret, lonely, barren, cold and sheltered. And in some ways we're all sorry. But it's pushing away. That really hurts. It's not being accepted in those things, you know? Not getting how we're all looking for unconditional love, you know? I was just now imagining, like, if that same situation would have happened with people that did understand unconditional love. Breaks my heart to think how that boy felt. And it breaks my heart even further to know that on some level we all experience this. May we all plant flowers in each other's desolate areas.